Hey guys, day 2 here at NAB, and today we're going to talk about mostly mirrorless cameras and audio kits and GoPro, what they've got going on, and the different types of rigs that I saw to use with mirrorless cameras. Tomorrow's video is going to be kind of a compilation of all of the other things that I've seen there. Some really cool stuff that we at the college could probably never get, but that I found interesting, whether it's either too expensive or just not practical for us. So that's what tomorrow's video is going to be. So the big question that I have is, do we need to focus more on mirrorless cameras, or are camcorders being phased out by mirrorless cameras? Because we see at our college that a lot of students are taking out the DSLR cameras and the new mirrorless camera that we have, and not many people are taking out the video cameras. I actually asked Sony and Panasonic that question. I said, here we have students that are shooting videos, basically short films, short videos, interview style type stuff. What do you think about using a mirrorless camera instead of a camcorder? And they just shrugged their shoulders at me. They just kind of go, oh, because it depends on what you're trying to do. And I've been saying that this whole time. You can see in some of these rigs that I'm showing you guys that it's crazy to try to shoot with some of these cameras because the camera can't do all the work. So you need adapters and power cables and monitors and audio adapters and all these things to make these mirrorless cameras do a job that a camcorder can do by itself. But you get a crazy professional looking video. So I guess it just depends on what you're trying to achieve. And what are we trying to achieve at FLCC? And what we're trying to achieve at FLCC is we're trying to give you guys a broad enough brush to paint with. Some of the videos that you guys make a camcorder will make a lot of sense. There are some students that come to the program that don't understand how any of this stuff works. So they want to have the easiest, simplest camera, so that way when they want to do their videos, it's not overcomplicated. Paul really specifically wanted me to focus on the Ronin 2. That's DJI set up for a rig for mirrorless cameras or DSLR cameras, and I did get a chance to pick it up and play with it, seeing the different controls and things like that. I didn't actually ask them how much the Ronin 2 costs. I'm looking on B&H right now, and the original Ronin is $1,000. So I don't know if that's something that we're going to invest in or not, but there it is. It's $1,000 and it looks really cool. Getting into more detail with mirrorless cameras, because we already own the A6500, I stopped by Sony's booth and asked them, hey, we have the A6500 already with this particular lens that we've got. This is the style of videos that we're making. We're making these short films. What do you recommend for a lens to pair with the A6500? Because we may end up buying 2 more of them. And the rep actually steered me to a lens that actually has a zoom feature on it. So you can actually flick up and down to zoom in and zoom out without having to rotate the lens. You can still rotate the lens to zoom in and zoom out, but there's an actual button on there so it can slowly zoom in and slowly zoom out. And that's one of the huge things that we were missing with these cameras, and Sony seems to have taken care of it with this lens. I was originally going to purchase for us a kit that B&H had set up that has 2 lenses, but then they didn't really serve the purpose, and I just wanted to get a couple of lenses so we had some options. But it actually equals out in price. This lens plus the A6500 actually works out to be about the same price, and it's a better lens. So hopefully if we get everything, we can get that lens. Also, they have a microphone that you can attach to the Sony's Cold Shoe, and it powers the microphone, and it's basically like the Rode microphones that we already have for the T6s, but it's, we don't have to worry about power. It draws its power from the camera itself. And there's a zoom switch on the microphone, so if you're zooming in, then the microphone's pickup pattern adjusts to that zoom. So if someone's walking away from the camera, the microphone will, and you're zooming in with the lens, the microphone will follow that zoom pickup pattern. And then when you zoom out, then the microphone widens out too. So that's pretty interesting. It's not something that I would have asked for, but I don't know what it sounds like. So we'll find out. And again, that's actually probably one of the coolest things that he demonstrated for me. And it's only $78 on B&H's website. So I'm really looking forward to getting that if we can get our hands on it. Okay. Shit. Oh man. I hope I'm in the same spot as I was. I came to NAB personally to find out more about the Panasonic GH5. It's been out for maybe about a week or so. It's fantastic. It doesn't have the same size sensor as most other mirrorless cameras of its class. It's not a full inch sensor, it's a micro 4/3 sensor, but it's got a lot of features on it that I like. It actually has an XLR adapter that you can mount onto the cold shoe, and it gives you 2 XLR inputs. They also have a couple of nice lenses with it. There's a zoom lens that I was looking at. There's also a standard lens, and they're relatively inexpensive. The zoom lens is only around $450, and the other lens I was looking at is about $1,000. So it's pretty reasonable, and I'm looking into that for myself. I don't think it's something that the college would get, only because of price. It's probably going to be about $1,000 more to get everything for that camera than the A6500, and we kind of have to stick to our budget. And then from there, I went over to see what GoPro had to offer, and Sennheiser and GoPro have partnered up, and Sennheiser has created the MKE2 Elements microphone specifically for the GoPro Hero 4, which actually works out really well for us at the college because we have 6 of those Hero 4s. And what Sennheiser has done is they have given a back specifically to hold the electronics needed to attach the micro USB adapter that they have created to go inside the GoPro's port, and then you can still lock the watertight case, and the microphone is on the outside of the camera. And what's nice about it is that it sounds totally different, so much better with that microphone on the outside of the camera compared to the internal microphone that the GoPro had, because the case was actually covering that microphone, so it sounded muffled and it was basically totally useless. So in addition to that, it's water resistant. Now you can't go too deep and you can't be in the water for too long, which I think is weird. It doesn't really make any sense. Clearly this is just meant to sort of get wet for a second, and then, you know, like if you're surfing or whatever, they don't want you to take this down and keep it under the water for an extended period of time. But this is going to be great for us because we, even though the Hero 5 is out, and that has not in a case at all, and the microphone on that is tremendously better than what they have on the other cameras, this is going to be a perfect option for us at FLCC because we can buy this rather than buying a whole new camera. Even though it's at a high price, I think, of $200, it's still going to be a better investment to prolong the life of our Hero 4 Black. So I think this is going to be a great addition to us, and I hope we can actually purchase it. Now moving on to drones, I didn't spend that much time over at DJI because I already know what we're going to get. I wanted us to get the Phantom 4 Pro Plus, which has a built-in screen on the controller for the drone. I was very disappointed that they did not have one of those remotes out to demonstrate, even though they had the drone out there. They didn't have any of the accessories with it, so I was kind of disappointed. I was looking at the smaller version, the Mavic. I'm not quite sure if it's right for us. I like that it's small, I like that it's portable, but it doesn't have as many obstacle avoidance sensors on it, which means that if it's going to be hitting an object like a tree or a fence or a wall or something, that it's going to stop automatically. And the Phantom 4 actually has more than the Mavic, and I think we can all agree that maybe that's probably the better investment. Now moving on to audio, Sennheiser actually has a really cool system that I like, which is the Sennheiser AVX Camera Mountable Lavalier Pro Digital Wireless Set. Basically the way it works is you have the receiver that receives the wireless signal and it plugs directly into the XLR, so you don't have to put it on the cold shoe on the camera. It does have a battery on it, which I was confused about. I originally thought that it was drawing phantom power from the camera and that was enough to power it, but that's not true. It needs more power, which actually makes a lot of sense. So there is a tiny battery that you have to keep with the receiver, but according to the rep, it only takes 45 minutes to recharge it and it lasts for 5 hours. So that's pretty cool. I'll take that over having to worry about AA batteries or 9-volt batteries and not really knowing how long they're going to last. So I'll take this. This looks great. And it's the same setup. You get the wireless transmitter, belt pack, and a lavalier microphone, and it's pretty much the same concept, but it's much smaller, much more compact. And it's actually been out for quite a while. I'm not quite sure how long it's been out for, but it goes for $900, which is still pretty. it's probably worth it. I forgot to mention yesterday more information about that Sennheiser VR 3D microphone. I found out that the price currently is $1,650, so $1,650. There's format converting software that is included when you purchase it, so that way you can easily stitch everything together and attach it to your video, your 360 video. That's all I want to cover today for cameras and audio and all that kind of stuff. These are things that I felt would be relevant to us at FLCC and to me personally. There's so much else there, but these are the things that I know that we are going to be purchasing, and I got more information and good information. The sales reps were absolutely fantastic. They steered me in the right direction. They were so nice and so patient, so kudos to them. All right, that's it for me. One more day. See you guys tomorrow.